Hello and welcome to the Shine Gaming and Esports Center for the first Super Smash Bros. Match of the year. I'm Jack Elliott. I'm here with my co-host Rowan Mastrangelo, and we are looking at an absolute barn burner tonight between Michigan State and your Syracuse Orange. Michigan State and Syracuse, the top two teams in the preseason PEC, Power Esports Conference, coaches poll. Syracuse up there for a reason that might not have been apparent, say, last January. Rowan, you want to tell us about that?
That's right. Syracuse didn't finish, there was nothing stupendous last season, but coming in, they've got someone out of this world. 11th best in the world. Syrup. A Steve Ness main. Tonight he'll be in Steve in the final matchup of the first set, and he is just fantastic. Booked a top 8 bid to Riptide just about a month ago, and he is something to show. It's a reason why the Orange have jumped so much in that coach's poll to the 2 slot.
Absolutely, and more than just jumping to the 2 slot in the coach's poll, it's changed the entire layout of the PEC. They have changed the format because of this incredible player that Syracuse has gotten.
Wow.
Actually, it's really interesting. We were talking to Mr. Esports, head coach of the Boise State Broncos, Doc Haskell, and he said it was going to be the Michigan State rule before Syrup was recruited, and then it took on the new moniker, the Syrup rule, and it has changed the format of the PEC for Smash Bros. So I want to take you guys through that a little bit right now because, quite frankly, it can be confusing.
Right.
They're Team 1 and Team 2. In this case, Syracuse is Team 1 and Michigan State is Team 2. And they each get a blind pick. So Syracuse being Team 1, they get to pick their fighter first. They'll fight in the first matchup. And Michigan State, their blind fighter, will fight in the last matchup. After that, it's a draft of picks and counter picks from there on out, heading down to the last matchup. These matches, it's a regular 3-stock, 1-on-1, and you get a point for each stock you take off your opponent and if you win. So let's say you take all 3 and your opponent doesn't get any off you, you get 4 points for your team. At the end of 4 of these 1-on-1 matchups, the points are tallied. You win that set, you get 1 set, it's best of 3.
It'll be really exciting to see, and this set rewards kind of a more balanced team in comparison to the format that a lot of tournaments use, which we used last year. It's just, take as many stocks as you can. First team to take 12 opposing stocks wins, and then you do a best of 3 with those sets. So that's the more traditional format, but to reward more comprehensive teams, we've gone with this format in the PEC. Now, this does sort of diminish Syrup's impact, as I'm fairly confident he could go through 9 stocks, 10 stocks, even a whole 12-stock team if given the opportunity. He is that good. But last season, Michigan State Palutena went through 10 Syracuse stocks in a row, the most consecutive stocks seen eliminated across that fall season. So players like that also are set back a little, and it will reward the other players on that team. So while it does impact the Orange, everyone has to deal with the consequences and the returns of this new format.
Absolutely, but Rowan, you can still get away with having a pretty top-heavy team, correct?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. If you've got 2 guys, for example, that are just fantastic, so Syrup and, let's say, Scooby, who will lead off this matchup for the Orange, if they both 3-0 their opponents, the Orange are up 8-0, and all they need to do is win 1 more stock, because that takes more than half, 9 of the potential 16 stocks. So even if you have a top-heavy roster of 2 or 3 guys, you're still a threat.
Absolutely. As Rowan mentioned, Scooby, playing Me Brawler, will be leading this thing off for the Syracuse Orange. We are lucky enough to have all the matchups in front of us already. I'd love to take you all through them, and then we'll break them down a little bit before we get started. So starting off, Syracuse's blind pick was Scooby. Counter-picked was Ridley, played by Rydra for the Michigan State Spartans. Michigan State then picked Rob, played by Suspect, and Syracuse counter-picked with Luigi, played by our very own Sarvi. Syracuse then picked blind. They picked Joker, character I'm really interested to see, and that was counterpicked by Ness, played by Echo for Michigan State. The blind for Michigan State was, of course, that Palutena, played by Druish, and Syracuse was able to counterpick with their very own star, Syrup, playing Steve.
It's going to be so exciting. This format was electric to watch. We were behind head coach Nikita Bear and Sarvi playing Luigi in the second matchup, like Jack mentioned, and the tension that was across these two guys when the players were getting picked and they didn't quite know what to expect. And there were some surprises like Suspect, who is playing Rob, who usually opts to go with Kazuya or Banjo. So really exciting format that we have here. Let's break down that first matchup a little bit in Scooby as Me Brawler and Rydra as Ridley. The Orange were really excited about this. One, they were excited to see MSU's first bid in Palutena with Druish, but this first matchup with Brawler and Ridley. Ridley doesn't have the best frame data, a good amount of ending lag with his moves, which makes him very punishable. And Me Brawler's strength is that frame data. As a brawler, those attacks come out really quick. So what I expect to see from the Orange is waiting for Ridley to throw out a move that doesn't quite connect and immediately punish. String together some low percent combos, try to move Ridley to the edge, and then eventually take a stock.
Absolutely. It's interesting. We were talking to Nikita Baer, head coach of the Syracuse Orange, before this, and he is really excited about what Scooby's going to bring to this team, especially as a leadoff. Scooby was good last year, about average, but I think Baer has a lot of confidence in him to bring something special for this
100%. When we were talking to Baer pregame, he was really excited about Scooby's performance. And against this Michigan State team last year, we saw a lot of 3-0s against Scooby. So we heard that and we were like, that's interesting. But he voiced a lot of optimism with Scooby, saying that he's improved over the summer. He's liked what he's seen from him in these mid-major sort of tournaments through summer and early fall. So really excited to see hopefully that talk translate to some successful walk for the Orange.
Absolutely. This second matchup, you've got Sarvi playing Luigi against Rob, played by Suspect. That was a bit of a shocker.
Yes, it
was. They were not prepared for Suspect to come out.
Sent the Orange into pandemonium. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and it was very interesting because that's not a character that Suspect usually plays, and that's the strategic element of this draft. That's all right, we're going to catch you off guard now. We're going to see how you can handle this. Sarvi, kind of a jack of all trades for the Orange, can play under pressure, can play against a variety of opponents, playing, of course, comfortable Luigi. That was. I feel that was the correct pick. Get somebody who's a leader for the team out there early.
Yeah, Sarvi, absolutely a leader on this squad, has been here for arguably the longest, has seen arguably the most reps of any of the Syracuse fighters, and it just has so much passion for this program. Every Monday, the Orange do Smash tournaments open to the community, and Sarvi's running them every time. He's running around like a chicken without a head, trying to get these tournaments together, just so doing a million things at once, but he loves this game, and he loves being here. So his passion is there, but the skill is there as well. When we were talking to head coach Baer before the contest, he mentioned that Sarvi was the 2 in this Orange lineup, the 1 being Syrup. But Sarvi is that factor where Syrup is going to deliver. Can Sarvi do the same? He can, but what he mentioned is that a lot of times he gets in his own head. Sometimes he's seeking out a specific move to land and not reacting and deciding what the best move would be in that case scenario. So he said as long as Sarvi stays within his head and within his comfort, his individual comfort, that is, shouldn't be much of an issue. Although, what I will say, is that Rob is terrifying. Rob is so scary, just off the bat, just one of the easiest characters to pick up from a beginner perspective, but once you master Rob, he is frightening. So I'm going to be really, really curious to see how he handles a character that is just wired incredibly difficult. Yeah,
Rowan, we were sitting in here playing the other day, and I picked up Rob because I was trying to learn the different characters we might see this season, trying to get a better sense of them. And I had a lot of fun. He's versatile. He can do a lot. Good movement. I'm really excited to see him play, but of course, we hope that Sarvi can take the victory on that one.
So fun. It's going to be hard to get kill moves against Rob given his weight and Luigi's lack of kill moves aside from the 0-to-death combos and up smash, but we will see how it goes. Let's move to that third matchup, Jeff.
Yeah, there we've got Joker, who is the blind pick, and that was counterpicked by Ness from Michigan State, played by Echo. Ness is somebody I know a little bit about. Joker, quite frankly, a little bit of an enigma to me.
Yeah, Joker was the first DLC character to be added to Smash Ultimate, one of, on paper, the best characters in the game. When Joker first came out, immediately rose to the meta, saw a ton of dominance in competitive play with people like Leo and other fighters in the competitive scene. Just a dominant character, and I expect to see that sort of performance from Drew. We haven't seen him play, though. Not a ton of reps to show for Drew, and not a ton of information as well, but that's what you love about the fresh new season of PEC. We get to see these new fighters. Someone like Syrup is, in the same territory as Drew being a freshman, but we've seen Syrup play. There's tons of data of him online. There's not a lot about Drew, so that specific fighter, I'm really excited to see him fare against Ness, who, again, like Joker, is just a good hardwired character. Not a lot to pick on when it comes to Ness and Joker. That should be a quality fight.
Of course. And then this final matchup is the clash of titans, as it were, the juggernauts of these two teams.
Yes.
The Palutena, who was so explosive against Syracuse a year ago, and, of course, Syrup, the 11th ranked player in the world. I'm really excited for that one. I think we're starting to get into our lobby. The master hand kind of whispered into my ear and said we're getting pretty close. But that matchup is the most anticipated part of this game, I think. And I think we'll see a lot of people tuning in to check that out. You know, the Smash community loves their top players, and we're really excited to be here for it.
Absolutely. Drewish, the stud of the MSU lineup, took 10 consecutive stocks off of the Syracuse Orange last year in the alternate format. That was the most of the entire semester. So just clearly the top dog, has a great understanding of his character, a good aggressive play style, but also recognizes when to rely on more of those projectiles. And Syrup, I mean, I hope have done your homework. We certainly have on Syrup. A stud, strikes fear in his opponents. So good. He's running with Steve today, who is his one. Also throws out Ness sometimes when, he feels it's appropriate, but today he's going with Steve.
Yeah, Rowan, something that was interesting was that they went out and they checked with him whether he wanted to play Ness or Steve. Steve, a character that's banned in a lot of tournaments.
Right.
And interesting, I mean, Steve, he's obviously more comfortable. What do you think the rationale could have been for picking Ness?
Maybe a little more projectiles to match up with Palutena's projectiles, but also you want to make sure when that's your star player and one that has the most impact, frankly, in a game, you want to make sure they are the most comfortable. A Ness Palutena matchup would have been fine, but I think you'll get a lot more length out of Steve just in terms of lasting at higher percents. I think the combo ability is better. I think Syrup is more comfortable with Steve. I think really the only reason not the only reason, but a significant reason he goes Ness is because of the constraints of certain formats. But because those constraints aren't present today, why not shoot the shot with the A1 Steve?
Of course. Now, we mentioned that one of the reasons that the head coach and Sarvi were so excited at the beginning of the draft was because Palutena went as the blind pick. And I think maybe Michigan State expected Syracuse to put out Syrup as their blind pick in that first matchup. Didn't happen. And now if Syracuse can capitalize on that, if Syrup can take 3 stocks, 3-0, that Palutena, that is an incredible factor wiped off for Michigan State. That is 4 points where Michigan State easily could have gotten 4 for themselves.
Yes, it will be huge. And it's about the quantity of stocks that you're taking out, but also the quality of fighter that you're eliminating. If Drewish were to go against a fighter of less caliber than Syrup, he might get a more qualitative performance. That's good, but since he's going against Syrup, that quality is going to be diminished.
Absolutely. We're going to be right back. They're getting things set up with the lobby. Stick with us. We can't wait for this absolutely electrifying matchup. See you. We're back here at the beautiful Shine Gaming and Esports Center. I'm Jack Elliott, with me, Rowan Mastrangelo, and we're getting ready to dive into a fun matchup for the first one. We've got Michigan State's Ridley, played by Rydra, with Scooby playing Me Brawler for your Syracuse Orange.
The Orange were stoked about this matchup. When we were in the draft room with head coach Bear and Sarvi, who's in the second matchup for Syracuse today, and they saw this first counter pick go out for Michigan State, they were super excited, and I honestly agree with their shared emotion. I feel that Ridley doesn't have a lot of room to make errors. It's just kind of the nature of his character. There's a lot of large hitboxes on moves, and just a large hitbox in general for the character, and a strength of Me Brawler is his frame data. Moves come out really quick, and so if he doesn't land a move, it's going to be very punishable for Me Brawler.
Absolutely. Ridley's going to have to be inch perfect against this character. I'm really excited to see it. Ridley, I think he's a funny-looking guy, personally. He's big, he's bony, he's got those big wings. I like when he dives into the ground. That's
a chill thing that he does. Yeah. I like the balls of fire.
Oh, sure.
That exit his mouth.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a chill thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of chill moves. Me Brawler, right. I mean, you can kind of customize it however you want, right?
Yes, you can. I mean, there are limits. My Me Brawler at my Switch is Steve Harvey.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, I made a Me of Steve Harvey, and he's Me Brawler. My Me Gunner is Peter Griffin.
Lowish.
Right. What would you make your Me characters?
I'm not sure, Rowan. I'm wondering if I would take it in a more serious direction or do something like...
well, that sucks.
I've had Sans Undertale as one of mine in the past. That's a good one.
That's good.
We're going to get ready to jump right into the game now after that brief little break.
Swift pivot.
For me and Rowan to talk about whatever we want for a couple seconds. They don't let us do that often because you can see why.
Right. Doesn't go very well.
We're really excited to get into this one. Everybody's going to, do some button testing. And we're going to get right into it. I really like the character. He's got a bit of a Squidward nose, speaking of what we were talking about before.
Yeah, there are some Squidward tendencies here. That's good. Not sure why Michigan State took a stock to start, though.
It seems like we're going to have to reset lobby. We're going to have to try again. We're just taking a couple seconds to get underway here, and you know what? That's okay. I love spending time with you here in the Shine Gaming and Esports Center broadcast booth.
It's a privilege. I mean, really, any time that we get to just converse, not about what's happening on the screen, although we love talking about what's on the screen, just me and you, it's a beautiful time. I will ask you, if you're judging these fighters based on solely appearance, Ridley and Me Brawler, that is,
right?
What are the strengths and weaknesses that you sort of identify?
Solely on appearance.
Right.
Are we taking the Me Brawler that is on the screen?
That we just saw for like 10 seconds with the big nose.
Well, I feel like the issue is Ridley could reach out, grab the nose, and then kind of swing Me Brawler around.
Right.
Ridley also has the height advantage. It's kind of like somebody like Bull guarding somebody like Muggsy Bogues.
Okay, understood.
It's not ideal. But fortunately, they're not playing basketball.
No. Yeah, Ridley would definitely win on the court.
Absolutely. But, sometimes having that smaller frame, it gives you an advantage. You move a little bit quicker. You get around a little bit quicker. As we were talking about, it's evident in the frame data for Me Brawler. Those moves come out quicker than Ridley, who's a bit bigger, a bit clunkier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do take a dragon over a human, just in terms of aura.
Yeah, of course.
I do think that Ridley carries a little bit more punch in the physical department.
I would probably agree, but we're going to have to see because that's probably not how it's going to go in this game. It seems Michigan State has taken a stock to start again. And we may have
Syracuse
to reset.
win. Let's go. Let's go. 3 stocked. Michigan State.
It seems like we're going to have to reset the lobby again. I don't know. That's twice now that Ridley has just dived off screen.
Right.
I assume that's the down B for Ridley, Rowan.
That's down air.
Down air, okay.
Right, it's a fun one.
Just, plummeting to his doom again and again, and we're unable to start the game quite yet.
So, yeah, that's how it's going. Me Brawler. If you were to pick a prop for Me Brawler, what would it be? Or no, erase that question.
Oh, sorry.
Me Brawler is a UFC or MMA fighter. Which one?
Oh, of any of them?
Yeah, what's the player comp?
I don't think I know enough about the UFC or the MMA for this,
All right, that's
Rowan.
fine, I
That's
guess.
not my strength. My strength is Smash Bros, as we've talked
Super
about.
Smash Brothers Ultimate's really valid.
Yeah. So, but there are good ones out there. I actually don't know any of the names off the top of my
Mike
head.
Tyson,
That's boxing.
Floyd Mayweather. That's what I meant. Boxing, not UFC or MMA. Boxing.
Maybe like a Jake Paul figure.
What?
I don't know.
Come on.
Well,
man.
how old is
Let's pick
Ridley?
the worst fighter.
How
would
old
be
is
good.
Ridley?
How
Is
old?
Ridley an
I don't know.
ancient
He's probably
character?
like 3,000 years old. He's a dragon.
Okay. And Jake Paul loves to beat up on old men. So there's the player count.
All right, understood. Okay, I see your pick.
Yeah, exactly. There it is. But we should be heading back in. Hopefully, there's not another unfortunate down air that resets everything
Right.
again.
I wonder why that occurred.
Me too. Just probably like a miscommunication between the two teams. But I can't wait to actually get things underway.
Yeah,
the anticipation is building.
This is really building the anticipation. I cannot wait. Frankly, I've been led on too many times.
At least two at this point.
At least two. But
Plus, all week, we've been prepping, we've been getting ready, and it seems like we're going to get ready and head in.
yeah, well,
right
this
about
is
now.
the third time you've said that, so let's see if
it
it's
is.
oh,
There we go.
go.
Ridley strikes first as we get underway. Just me Brawler trying to maintain a little bit of space, but kind of getting poked there again and again by the tail of Ridley. Good attack, Ridley, great shield there. Me Brawler just getting absolutely battered around here early, Rowan.
Yeah, that down tilt forward air is a really good early percent combo starter for Ridley, and you've noticed that the accuracy of which his moves are landing is huge. He has no room to whiff as he did there and just dealt a 35% from Me Brawler.
Exactly, and that's something that you're going to want to look at all match. Me Brawler again sneaks one inside the shield there, really starting to deal some heavy blows here to Ridley. Exactly what we were looking for, that punishment. Great move to get out of the way there, but takes a big hit there. Ridley trying to edge guard now with the fire. 112% up here, really into the knockout zone for Syracuse. 124, Ridley's got a chance to edge guard. Good bit of misdirection there to get back up onto the stage and steal control again from Ridley.
Ridley back up to 90%. Despite his weight, boom. Oh my goodness, there's the first knockout.
Yeah, that was just too easy for Ridley. Syracuse has to respond quick and will try to do so. Good attempt to edge guard there. Ridley takes a second, recovers off the side of that edge, gets a little bit of misdirection, but still hurting bad here.
What I was saying is Ridley's size is not exactly, it doesn't exactly correlate with his weight. He's a relatively light fighter. So beautiful edge guarding from Ridley gets Scooby back up to the mid-80s.
Yeah, got Scooby there, even on the attempted recovery. That was really unfortunate. Scooby now again getting edge guarded 100% already again. Still hasn't managed to land that knockout blow on Ridley and gonna need to respond here quickly. Just gets knocked out again. No amount of DI was gonna save Scooby there, and it's looking dire here for your Syracuse Orange.
What a productive stock from Ridley, even at triple-digit percents, able to knock the second stock off of the Orange. Just such good value.
Yeah, Ridley with a good parry there, and then an air dodge to get back onto edge and take the middle again from Scooby, playing Me Brawler. Scooby lands another hit there, trying to edge guard here with those cannonballs. We're going to see if Scooby's able to land the knockout blow, and he does. Gets a stock back, gets a crucial point for the Orange, too.
Cuts the deficit to just one, and he's going to have to make the most of this final stock here. 32%, it's more than enough breathing room, but he's got to maintain.
Absolutely. Got the stun there on Ridley. Managed to land a nice blow again. Ridley's been going for that down tilt, really favoring that move here early, Rowan.
Yeah, it's one of the solid combo starters for Ridley, along with a plethora of other moves. Maintaining stage control is a huge advantage against Me Brawler. The recovery is fairly predictable and also just not that great to begin with.
Yeah, and really getting knocked around here. Really incredible edge guarding from Ridley. Me Brawler needs to find some way to get back up. Scooby having a ton of trouble. Just incredible edge guarding. Tries to get behind Ridley, but once again that down tilt and the knockout blow for Syracuse. There it is. Michigan State wins 2 stocks to 0, and the final score off that first matchup is 4-1 Michigan State.
Really impressive display from the Spartans and Rydra. Something that took me by surprise is how excited Syracuse was about this matchup when they saw it on the paper. They were thrilled, and I didn't think that they expected that at all.
No, and honestly, it was something you and I talked about beforehand, just the player profiles. That could have been something that we were looking at and could have expected that. Just dominant play from the Ridley, really impressive use. That down tilt started so many combos. Great edge guarding too. Me Brawler couldn't maintain central stage control, for hardly any of that matchup.
Yeah, Ridley did a great job maintaining center stage. Something that I would have loved to see Scooby do was play a little bit more passive and just a little more evasive. I think he tried to meet him with meet Rydra with his moves alongside moves of his own, and Rydra ended up beating him out. I wish instead he evaded those moves and capitalized, because Ridley has a ton of end lag, and that would have been very exploitable.
Right, that's part of the character profile. You want to be able to punish Ridley, like you said,
Right.
instead of trying to fight fire with fire.
Right.
Try and fight fire with, a little bit of ice, right, Rowan?
That would have been chill. That
Chill.
fire sidekick.
Because of
chill.
ice.
Hey,
Yeah,
don't.
there you go. Next, we're going to look into a matchup where Syracuse really needs to bounce back. Luigi's going to be playing Sarvi against Rob, which, I mean, we've been kind of talking about how excited we are to see Rob come out, and we're going to need to see some impressive play from Sarvi to keep Syracuse in this.
It's just hard to play against Rob, but the key trick with Sarvi and Luigi is getting that grab at the beginning in early percents and capitalizing on it. One of Rob's only weaknesses is his juggle ability. His hitbox is huge. He's a heavyweight character. So taking advantage at those early percents and getting those combos in, which is a huge strength of Luigi's, will be crucial in this matchup.
Absolutely. We don't want to see Sarvi, get too ahead of himself, try and do a little bit too much, go for that killing blow too early. Let the percents rack up and then get the 100% that you're going to get that kill.
Right. We were talking with head coach Bear for the Orange before the game, and he said that Sarvi's an amazing fighter, really solid on this squad, but one of the things that sets him back is the mental. Sometimes he hunts for that grab so much when it's not available, or sometimes he gets it. He's surprised that he even got it, and before he knows it, Rob has mashed out of it. So just staying in your lane, in your head, keeping yourself composed is going to be a huge proponent for Sarvi to take on a matchup where I think, frankly, MSU's favored here.
Absolutely, and it's interesting because Syracuse got that counter pick, but Coach Bear wanted to put his trust into somebody who is a leader on this team, somebody who he thinks can make the most of this matchup, maybe get a couple points for the Orange, and then we'll head into those last two matchups with Joker, played by Drew, and of course Steve, played by Syrup, with things a little bit more even.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity for Syracuse. Predictions for this, I'm going another 3-1 for the Spartans.
So a 4-1 score.
4-1 total score, a 3-1 stock.
I think Sarvi's going to be able to take at least 2 here. So
Yeah.
I think we'll get 4-2, if not 4-2 the other way, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But I think we'll end 4-2 either way that it goes. Right?
Understood. Watching Sarvi play last year was super fun. He was the leader on this team because Syrup wasn't here yet. And he totally took ownership of that leadership role. He was leading the guys around, just the most, in the matches was the most productive. And seeing him take a little bit of a backseat, not in leadership, but just in gameplay, accepting that someone there is better than him and being willing to take advice, has been really cool. So this will be the first time that we've seen him under the guidance of Syrup, who's been a big proponent in improving the game sense of this Smash roster. I'm excited to see if there's any improvement.
Absolutely. That's something that we were talking with Coach Bear about, how Syracuse has benefited so much from that. But we're going to get things into the game here. I'll talk about that again later. Things are starting off between Rob, played by Suspect, and Luigi, played by Sarvi. Of course, that was a little bit of an unexpected pick. Rob already juggling Sarvi all around here early on. Sarvi needs to get some control there, going for that grab a lot. That, he's got a bit more range on that grab than the average character, and that's really important.
Just a note on these little blackouts. You'll be seeing them periodically throughout the stream. Everything's fine, but they're going to happen, and they'll be back, after about 3 or 4 seconds. So no problems there.
Of course, and we don't know what's going on during the blackouts there, too. So if we miss something, we'll do our best to cover it when we get back. Good piece of edge guarding here. Going to try and get a couple of hits on Rob while he's vulnerable, doing a really great job juggling him off the edge.
Beautiful read for that up air, I believe it was. Just stunning from Sarvi.
Sarvi has, taken that first couple of hits that he took, and, he's getting juggled here, edge-guarded really well, and immediately knocked out by Rob, but he did a great job getting Rob up to a pretty high percent. It's pretty even.
Yeah, that back air from Rob, it's one of the most powerful in the game, and it was used at the edge, not even above 100% Luigi was, so a solid use there.
Yeah, that's something that, it's It's going to take you out no matter what. Luigi doing a good piece of juggling. Really just needs to find that knockout blow here for Rob. End this stock, and there it is. Things are back even. Sarvi on 69%.
That patented Sarvi up smash, you're going to see it a ton today, eliminating stocks. It's one of Luigi's most secure kill moves, and one that Sarvi opts for a ton of the time, but just lost a crucial tied status there. Syracuse down 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even manage to deal any percent to Rob before he was knocked out. Really unfortunate. Gonna have to fight and battle back. I want to see him at least take one more. Then my prediction would come true, of course, Rowan.
That's the nature, that error there is the nature of Luigi having, not a great recovery, but two, also the mental mistakes of Sarvi that we were talking about beforehand. He can get on such a run, and then all of a sudden, one little slip up. It's just how he fights. He's trying to work on it this year.
Great combo there, comboing a couple of moves in the air to really juggle Rob, but still, they're fighting, they're jockeying for that center stage control. It really could have gone either way so far. Luigi has been tending to stay off a little bit towards the side, though. Good piece of combo there. Really got Rob up above 70% now.
Went for the upbeat, counters. Oh, great punish with the down smash, neutral B, gyro, throwing out all the mix-ups here.
Yeah, Sarvi just trying to get back on, and he could not recover. There's that poor Luigi recovery we were just talking about, and it's going to cost Syracuse hard. We're going to head into these last two matchups with the score being 8-2.
8-2, so that was the same score as the round one matchup between Scooby and Rydra, and it's Suspect taking Sarvi 4-1 as we just, excuse me, it was a 3-1.
3-1.
3-1. Thank you.
2-0.
3-1. 2-0. Whatever. Same thing. Anyway, 8-2. Tough showing for the Orange. A lot of mental mistakes, and that's so frustrating because I bet you that Sarvi would have at least had an extra stock when that game ended if it weren't for those crucial recovery errors.
Absolutely, and it was two of them. It was two. Right. I mean, I'm not sure they were technically SDs, but they feel like SDs.
Yeah.
If you're a player like Sarvi, because you can play better than that. You can extend your life a little bit more. But just a couple of either a misinput or just an error that kept him off stage.
He was keeping up with Suspect really well in those stocks, which didn't necessarily surprise me, but it just put a smile on my face. I was happy to see. We've seen him, we've covered Sarvi for over a year now, and you want him to win at this point as a Syracuse University broadcaster. So seeing him, hold his own against Suspect there was really happy to see.
Absolutely. We've got another good matchup now, though, for you. Syracuse picked Drew to play Joker. That was a blind pick, and that was counterpicked with Ness, played by Echo from Michigan State.
It'll be a really good matchup. We have not seen a lot regarding Drew, but one of the new additions to this Syracuse squad alongside Syrup. He's a fun guy. Excited to see how he does. Joker, one of the most solid characters in this game, so tough to counter a character like Joker. And Echo Fire has been out on the Michigan State squad for a year. This is his second, so another. I do like the Michigan counter pick of Ness here.
Absolutely. And here's the thing for Syracuse, and this is something I think is really interesting, an interesting little piece of narrative heading into these last two matches. These are two rooks. These are two rookies for the Orange.
That's right.
Going to have to really step up and carry the team if they want to win these matchups, and I'm really excited to see how they perform under that pressure.
It's cool to see them get put in big scenarios. Nikita trusts his boys and is hoping that they deliver.
Yeah, we're going to head into things now. Ness, character I really like to watch, already taking some of that poison, that ping damage from Joker that just adds up over time. You don't want to take too many of those, but punishing already off that edge.
I think we're going to see a lot of absorption from Joker using Arsene with these projectiles from Ness. It's a big part of Ness's offensive toolkit, and that is a way I predict that Joker will counter it.
Absolutely. Ness starting things off really well. Got Joker already into the 50%, but it's fairly even. They're managing to land a lot of blows on each other, but a big hit there sends Joker way off the side. Nice recovery, but immediately knocked out.
Such a huge knockout there. Joker just activated Arsene and is immediately put to rest by Ness. A timely knockout for MSU.
Yeah, if you can't take care of Joker there, you're looking at either some pretty serious percent hits or a knockout from that Arsene state. Joker trying to recover some of that middle, really just needs to do more percent damage here before Ness takes another stock, activates Arsene, but immediately gets just pounded off the stage. Trying to recover here, has Ness up to 88%, good recovery, manages to take control again of center stage. Ness up to 95%, trying to juggle, trying to edge guard, nothing really working though. Ness did really well to recover there.
Solid recovery from Ness and really good offense. He got him on the jab lock as Joker nails a back air Ness at kill percent, especially near this ledge.
Absolutely. Just trying to take care of this stock before Ness takes care of another one for you. And there it is. A emphatic knockout for the orange. And another stock taken. Though there it is right back. The tables are turned on Joker really quickly. Knocked out again by Ness.
Yeah, a quick response from Ness. Both characters at kill percents, just a solid showcase. Good back air there.
Joker really has to keep on keeping on now, because unfortunately if Syracuse loses this matchup, they will not be able to come back in this set no matter how well Syrup performs. Joker already up to 72% on that final stock, has barely been able to touch Ness on that second stock. Ness just landing, it seems like every single hit, even with Joker in that Arsene form, it's just not really working. There goes the Arsene form, and now Joker is seriously vulnerable for SU.
That PK Fire has dealt so much damage against Joker. About 50 or 60 of his percents has been through that PK Fire. Nails the up smash. That's going to do it for MSU.
And that's going to do it also for Syracuse. They are going to lose this first set. They have two more, of course. It's a best of 3 on these sets. That's what they'll be trying to come back with these next two. But just unfortunate. You know, Joker never seemed like really stood a chance against Ness there.
No, you're exactly right. Michigan State took advantage so quickly. From beginning to end, it was all MSU. I was super impressed by the evasiveness of Echo Fire. Really solid against a character like Joker, who's quick on his feet, has pretty solid frame data. Ability to punish with a plethora of moves, so really good evasiveness and good punish game from Ness there.
Absolutely. Now, here's the thing, Rowan. Even though Syracuse has lost this set, we still get, of course, the most anticipated matchup of the set coming in here. It's Steve, played by Syrup, against Palutena, played by Druish. Really excited to see what these two bring.
I can't wait. You know, this is entertainment at the end of the day, and even if it doesn't contribute to the final score, or it does, but it doesn't change the overall result of this set, it's still going to be a thrill. Palutena, of when Syracuse faced Michigan State in the fall of last year, Druish was the leading stock contributor for Michigan State, taking out 10 orange stocks consecutively. So I doubt he'll get anywhere close against Syrup, but still a really, really excellent fighter. And Syrup, 11th best in the world, just made it to top 8 in Riptide, just consistently being an absolute beast.
This is going to be the matchup that tells me just how big the skill difference is between Syrup and the rest of the field. Druish is a fantastic player, one of the best in the PEC last year. How many heads above is Syrup compared to these guys? We're going to see right here, right now. If this is an easy 3-0, that's going to be telltale for the rest of the season.
It's unbelievable, the gap, let me tell you. Syracuse played Shenandoah recently in a college head-to-head matchup, and Syrup took down, I think it was 12 stocks of the Shenandoah lineup. And while I believe the Michigan State roster is more talented than the Shenandoah roster, still, it goes to show when he's playing a collegiate roster, what that might look like. He has every ability to stay locked in and not play to the level of his opponent, which you see a lot in great players, but Syrup doesn't do that. He goes balls to the walls every time.
Absolutely, and I'm really excited to see Steve played in a college setting. Played by somebody who's this excellent in a college setting. Steve, one of the most complex characters in the game. When we were talking about this matchup as we head into it now, when we were talking about it beforehand, though, it was just like every time you said a new thing that we were learning, I was like, oh my gosh, Steve can do that and that. Syrup takes the first couple hits here, getting juggled around a little bit, needs to recover. One
of the most detailed characters in the game in terms of design, but Palutena here is doing a really good job at making sure that Syrup gets no space. Without solid materials, Steve is Steve is good, but the materials and the upgraded tools is what really allows him, his moveset, and his offense to shine.
And Syracuse now just, took that percent at the beginning, kind of traded it off as ability to mine, is now starting to deal some more percent to Palutena here. Gets Palutena locked in really nice, and there's that combo that you see from Syrup all the time. Just one of those things where you can really start to juggle a character.
I'm sure Syrup wishes that he could have extended that a little longer. He nailed the first 2 moves, but good DI, and just unfortunate the ceiling kind of got in the way. But another opportunity there. I couldn't quite can it.
Yeah, he's just, it's been really impressive. And already Syrup knocked out, down 3-2 early. Oh my goodness, not what we were expecting in this matchup, Rowan.
Druish is maintaining this aggression so well, and the understanding of how Steve likes to play, especially when it is the most premier opportunity for him to land those up tilts and up airs. He's not letting him do it. Great shielding.
Yeah, good little back air there from Syrup. Dealt some good percentage to the Palutena to Druish, excuse me. But Syrup, there's that juggling combo, exactly what he wants to do. Good hit there with the minecart, and now really starting to mine. Got gold, might be able to get gold items soon. That would be really huge.
Yeah, right now, Syrup's not really in a position to approach with poor tools. He's just an okay character, so you can expect some more passive play. And to respond, I'm sure Palutena is going to bump up the aggression.
That was a really nice play from Palutena. Dealt a lot of percentage. Syrup, might go down 2 stocks to 0, and he will early on. Rowan, this is insane.
This is very unprecedented. What an upset. All the credit to Druish. Just such fantastic play. He clearly did his research, as the side B will take the first stock for the Orange.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that you need right now. If you're Syrup, you need to take advantage quickly, or this stock's going to be over. This match is going to be over before it even began. Getting juggled again. That juggling ability from Palutena has been on display all match so far.
There's that forward air. Tried to block the recovery with the blocks, and that he did. Syrup with 70%. This is any man's game now. Gold tools. This could be a huge comeback.
Rowan, that was disgusting.
That was gross.
I mean, yet again, another thing about Steve where it's just like, you can do that? That's ridiculous. Getting another great combo there. Really managed to extend it with a couple of well-placed blocks. A nice minecart to the head for Palutena. Palutena gets the knockout, though, on Syrup. A really well-fought game from both sides. So close. Syrup not able to finish, though.
Druish. I did not know you had that in your bag. What a showcase. That was unbelievable. I'm so impressed. The aggression from Druish was never ending. Syrup had no time to breathe, to gather materials, to upgrade his tools, and consistently just could not get a hit in.
Druish, to quote the great Shaquille O'Neal, I was not familiar with your game.
Right.
At all. And that was pretty incredible. We're going to jump into some highlights here. Just a quick couple of things from the match. It's going to be a lot of Syracuse kind of getting beaten. But, there were some good stock takes from Syracuse there. That was Luigi. And we're going to let you guys watch the rest of this. We'll be right back. And we are back here in the Shine Gaming and Esports Center for Game 2 of this best-of-3 series between Michigan State and Syracuse in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I'm Jack Elliott, my co-host Rowan Mastrangelo. And Rowan, things didn't go quite to plan for Syracuse in that first matchup, did they?
No, they suffered a 16-5 loss in terms of points. That was 3 3-1 wins for Michigan State and 1 3-2 win. And that final 3-2 win was Drewish against Syrup, a huge upset. What that tells me is that Syrup is beatable. We went into this, frankly, saying that Syrup is going to be miles above everybody, but he is beatable, which is kind of refreshing to see that the PEC does bring such talent. You can compete with the 11th best in the world because of the quality of players that are in this conference.
Absolutely. As a general fan of the PEC, that makes me excited for the year and all of the chaos that it will bring. But as a Syracuse fan, it's a little scary.
That stings a little bit.
But looking at the matchups here, we'll take you through it. In this scenario, Michigan State was Team 1, so their Big Blind will play in the first matchup, and Syracuse Big Blind will play in the last matchup. So going into things, in the first matchup, we have Echo Fire playing Ness, and Scooby playing Me Brawler again. Scooby, Me Brawler in the first matchup yet again. In the second matchup, we have Palutena, played by Drewish, playing the blind pick of Syracuse, Sarvi playing Luigi. The Michigan State blind pick for matchup 3 was Falco, played by Dice.
Haven't seen him yet.
No, and will be countered by Syrup, not playing Steve this time, but playing Ness.
Okay.
And in the final matchup, the big blind for Syracuse is Yoshi, played by Talia, countered by Rydra, playing Ridley yet again.
Some interesting matchups. I like the presence of Talia and Dice, fighters that we have not seen yet. It's always exciting. You go into these games with a 6-man roster, and so sometimes you don't see everybody in these 4-game sets. So excited for some new faces. First one, you want to break it down?
Yeah, so Rowan, in the first matchup, Echo Fire played incredibly well against Drew, playing Joker as a counter pick. Now we'll get the chance to go in as the blind, and then we'll be playing Scooby, who was the Syracuse initial blind pick, so they've kind of switched roles there, Rowan, counter pick versus blind pick, and we're going to head right into it here. Echo Fire playing Ness, and Scooby playing Me Brawler yet again. They are doing just a little bit of button testing, of course, before the game. Rowan, what do you think about this fighter matchup?
Me Brawler's got his work cut out for him. Ness is very good at getting in your face and just kind of getting you riled up and unhappy. A lot of pressure will be seen from Ness, but that's also how Me Brawler kind of thrives, is stringing those combos together and getting up close and personal, hence Brawler in the name. But I do believe that Ness has more combo ability. He has great edge guarding, which in those middle to high percents is going to make Me Brawler very vulnerable. So to see a win come out for Scooby, he's going to need to lay down the percents earlier than Echo Fire to not get punished.
And so you're worried if they're fighting up close and personal pretty consistently about the ability of Me Brawler to just kind of get juggled, get comboed a little bit, right?
A little bit, yeah. I think that Ness's combos are strong. Scooby's jab comes out really quick. I believe it's frame 4 or 5, so very fast. But Ness's moves, like that forward air, it just combos into itself. The grab options from Ness are fantastic, so it's going to be tough. I think that Ness's toolkit is a little more expansive.
That's going to be the thing, and I love Me Brawler. Me Brawler, you get to build your toolkit, but
right.
You only have limited options.
Right.
I am a little bit worried for Scooby here, quite frankly. Scooby, a fantastic fighter, but Echo Fire looked so unstoppable. Wasn't letting Joker in the first match, played by Drew, get any sort of space at all. That was kind of the issue. Just oppressive play. We're going to head right into it here. This is going to be the real thing, folks.
Buttons tested, taunts thrown out. Jack, here we go.
Here we go. Already, Ness making that presence known, making those just kind of getting those moves in a little bit quicker. Stunning, and already a knockout. Are you kidding me?
0 to death.
That was incredible. Didn't have a moment to react, Rowan.
Oh my God, the jab lock to PK Fire to extend the combo with the forward smash. So smart, so good. Oh, studded.
Just absolutely oppressive gameplay already. Incredible looking to edge guard right off the bat yet again. Already at 61%. Finally takes the first percent of the game, Ness does. And it took until 61% on SU's second stock to do so, Rowan.
Ness beat Joker Drew 3-1 in the first set. And he is just really showing him who's boss. And the second one, oh my goodness, good bounce back from the orange.
Really incredible, just juggled, comboed right up into a couple up airs, I believe, Rowan, and just there's no way you're getting out of that one if you're Ness. Really a chance to respond now for SU, trading percents here early on. And Me Brawler's kind of getting tossed around a little bit. Good attempt to edge guard, and even though the edge guard failed, it managed to get a nice hit off there. Me Brawler trying to take a little bit more of that center stage yet again, and really playing well, but immediately knocked out. Really good play from Ness. Me Brawler has to respond quickly and is trying to, Rowan. Already up to 100%, 110%. Ness is definitely in that knockout zone. And there's the knockout. Things are back at 0%, one stock left. We are on even ground, Rowan, heading into this final stock.
Even through this glass, you can hear Sarvi voice his excitement for that kill. This Syracuse team is gelling well. They're excited for one another, and this is the opportunity for SU to win their first match of the day.
Yeah, really. That would be a huge morale boost. Immediately headed into that second set, getting the first match. That would be pretty incredible. Really good jab upwards there from Me Brawler. Good counterplay from Ness, trying to guard with that PK fire. Not going to work. They're just kind of trading percents back and forth. 75% now, 87%. That PK fire being used really effectively. Me Brawler just needs to land a couple big hits if they want to win this here. There's a good one there. Needs to edge guard now. Needs to juggle with Ness up in the air. Gets a couple of good hits off. Goes for the hit. Misses there. And now being able to be edge guarded by Ness off the side. But gets a good combo and a knockout. Syracuse takes game one.
What a comeback from the orange. Come on. Come on!
They are hyped out there, Rowan. The players are hyped. Scooby is absolutely electrified on that stage. That was incredible.
High fives all around. Dap ups to share for the orange. So good. Such great play. Me Brawler, Scooby immediately got into a disadvantaged state, and that is hard to come back from mentally, but also just in the game. But he didn't let that get to him. Winning a game when the first stock is 0 to death, oh my God, you're immediately at a stock disadvantage. It's so
Scooby
hard.
didn't deal a percent of damage until he had 60% on his second stock.
Insane.
And came back to win.
Insane.
That is resilience. That is the resilience this orange team needs to have right now when they're already down a set, Rowan.
Such grit. Really, night and day, the start to this set and the start to the previous one. Scooby fell 3-1 to Rydra. And the Spartans took it from there. It was just a complete shutout from Spartans. Well done. But a different start here, and I love to see that. Big morale boost for the orange locker room.
Absolutely, and that's...
If they're in a locker room. They're not in a locker room. They're on a stage. They're up on a stage. Maybe a locker room soon.
But that shows why Coach Bayer had that confidence in Scooby.
Right.
That is exactly why. We're heading now into the second matchup. And who better do you want out there after a huge morale boost if you're the orange than Sarvi?
Yes, I love this. I love the fact that Sarvi is a mental player. He takes the energy and he goes with it. If it's bad, sometimes he can kind of fall into that and make a few mental mistakes. But when the energy is high and the morale is high, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He goes all in. And he gives his players arguably the most moral and vocal support while they're playing. You know the orange are going to hype him up beyond compare this time around.
Absolutely, but he's got a brick wall to run through, Rowan.
Oh, no. Yes, he does. You're right.
He's got Palutena, played by Drewish, who beat Syrup.
He did.
Last matchup, or last set, excuse me. That's a terrifying opponent, but I know nobody out in that room right now is more confident in his ability to take down that juggernaut than Sarvi is.
Yeah, Sarvi can do it. He can do it. He's confident. He got warmed up in that first game, I'll say. Warming up is a thing in esports. You know, you got to get loose. Brushing the dust off is very real. And now he's here, and he's got a true test with Drewish. Like you said, took down Syrup 3-2. Syrup, we'll see him in the third game. opting to switch things up a little bit, go with Ness as opposed to Steve, which I'm very excited for. But before that, it's Druish versus Sarvi, a real exciting matchup.
Yeah, realistic goals here for Sarvi, something that will keep that orange momentum high, taking a stock or two. To be honest with you, keeping that score tied. If Sarvi can take 2 stocks, the score stays tied, Rowan.
That's right.
The score is 6-6 after that.
It's exciting stuff, and you see him right there, getting loose, just testing his buttons, getting in the zone. I wonder what these guys listen to. Do you think it's just game sounds? Look at that. Look at that. Deep breath, inhale, exhale.
Incredible.
Ooh. So
I personally
dialed.
would not be listening to game sounds
No?
if I were these players. I would have on some music. Something like...
Something hype?
yeah, like some Eminem, perhaps.
Some Eminem.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
mean,
I
I'll
feel
get you
like
fired up.
we're headed into it now, though. Super excited for this matchup. Sarvi, no one better for the orange here. Already, though, getting juggled off stage. Going to really have to try and use that recovery. And it's really difficult. Great recovery, honestly. I didn't know whether Sarvi was going to be able to come back from that with just the state that Luigi's recovery has. Going for a lot of grabs and gets a successful grab there already. 25% on Palutena, and that's what you want to see.
It was really good DI from Palutena. That combo could have been extended by a ton of percent, but some good DI made sure that that was not the case.
Great shield there, but once again, another opportunity to juggle. Great play there from Palutena. Trying to get back on stage again here as Sarvi manages to get on the edge and get on the inside of Palutena. Once again, just juggled off stage, having to really struggle to recover again and again, and Palutena dealing some pretty heavy hits on the way to a potential knockout.
It's so hard when you're Sarvi in the situation. Luigi's recovery is not deep, it's very predictable, and you're going against one of the best edge guarding characters in the game. There's not a ton you can do.
Absolutely. Getting some good hits in now, though. Really going to want to take at least a stock, if not two. Just missed the grab by a couple of pixels, Rowan. Really unfortunate. Once again, tries to go for the grab. Surviving on 174%, but there it goes. There's the knockout blow from Palutena. Sarvi has to respond.
Yeah, extendable side B. It's a decent kill move when you're at really high percents. I believe you got up to like 150 there, so
I saw 174, Rowan.
Holy moly.
Yeah, that's very, very high up there. Needs to land a good combo here, I think. That's going to be the goal if you're Sarvi. Don't go for any of those, any of the upbeats. Just land a combo like you do right there. Now you have an opportunity to edge guard.
Yep, stunned him with the move and then nailed the dash attack to follow. So good move to rack up some decent percent. 84 needs a little more to start thinking about that up smash.
Absolutely. We'll see whether Sarvi starts to go for that up smash early or continues to extend. 102% now. Now you can start looking for that knockout up smash. Just missed one there. Trying to get it. There it is. 2-2. Sarvi matching up real well.
A beautiful read. He read the roll to perfection and capitalized with the side B. Good punish.
Sarvi once again kind of getting juggled off stage there. Makes it back on just to be immediately knocked off again by Palutena. Needs to do something creative here. Gets stunned. Takes a lot of percent. Once again, a really good recovery. Sarvi feels like been recovering all game, but still managed to land some really good hits on Palutena, even with playing as that underdog since pretty much the start, Rowan.
Decent recovery. You're in a tough case scenario here if you're Sarvi. Oh wow! What a huge stock for the orange!
Oh my goodness!
My lord!
Sarvi just managed to take advantage, edge guard really well, and things are 0% to 0% going into this last stock. It's anyone's game, Rowan.
He risked it all off stage, and it paid off.
Gets a good combo there. Deals a lot of percent early. Up really early. Palutena starts to juggle a little bit more. Gonna be just real close headed into this final stock. Rowan, you are turned around watching the expressions of the Syracuse players. Sarvi goes for the grab. Gets punished a little bit for it. Needs to recover yet again here. Great edge guarding there from Palutena. Got him just the frame before he connected there. Edge guarding each other. They're just playing off the stage. It's going to be really difficult. He's up so high on percent now.
He's so locked in over there. He needs to start maintaining center stage and evening this percent up. This is where he's at his most vulnerable.
Absolutely a good shield there. 83% up for Palutena now. Managing to deal some hits, but every single time he's knocked off stage, you just feel like, Rowan, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. A great edge guard there. Good DI keeps Sarvi in this game. They're both really far off stage. Sarvi flies all the way across stage. Unfortunately, loses that last stock, but really impressive performance from that emotional leader of this Syracuse team, Rowan.
I'm happy with that. Really good. I'm sure he is as well. He stood up from that chair and he kind of went, dang it, as he got up, but he was smiling. He knows he did a good job, and he knows that he made the most of the stocks that he had. When he got that kill from Palutena as they were both falling off stage, that knockout, that was massive for him.
That was really impressive. That's technical play more than just dealing a lot of percent. You know the stage well enough. You know what your character can recover from, and also what Palutena can't recover from. Really impressive stuff.
What I will say is I'll give a lot of credit to Druish with his edge guarding. Landing those down tilts at the perfect 2-frame window extended his stage control and put a lot of discomfort on Sarvi and built up those extra percents. Really solid edge guarding.
Absolutely. Maybe, not a technical victory for the Orange, but it does feel like a moral victory for Sarvi to go out there, show his stuff, show what he's made of.
It does. You took 2 stocks off of who I would say is, well, now that Dice is in the mix, maybe not, but one of MSU's strongest fighters. And, aside from a win, that's the best it can get for the Orange.
Absolutely. We're going to see now Syrup come out against Dice, who we haven't seen yet. Dice playing Falco, somebody who, it's going to be a little bit of an uncomfortable matchup, Rowan.
Yeah, Dice is amazing. He'll play Falco here. A top 200 player, Dice has scored highly in some mid-major tournaments. So going up against Syrup, he's got the beefiest resume of the Spartans lineup to do it.
Yeah, I would agree there, Rowan. I'm looking for Syrup, though, to take this thing pretty handily. Essentially, what happens here, should Syrup take this, all the Orange need to do is lose less stocks than Dice loses here in that final matchup to win, if that makes sense. Which, quite frankly, it probably doesn't. But we'll take you through the victory scenarios for the Orange after this matchup. All Syrup needs to go out there and do right now is play well.
And that he will. That he will come with. He's a skilled player. Always, everyone knows that. But both these guys are. What I'll say for Falco is, and the matchup between what I'll say for Syrup is I'm really interested to see. We saw Steve, and his excellence with Ness really propelled him to generate such a large following in the Smash community. Obviously, he is number 11 with Steve, but his dominance with Ness has caught the eyes of a ton of content creators and a ton of fans worldwide. So I'm really excited to see how multifaceted of a fighter he is with Steve and also with Ness.
As am I. I'm excited to see that switch up, shifting gears, as it were.
Sure.
Putting the Syrup instead of on pancakes, perhaps on waffles now, Rowan. I'm getting a little metaphorical here, but
you're the thinker.
The thinker, a wordsmith, akin to even William Shakespeare. That's what they call me. They've been telling me this.
You've never said akin in your life.
That's not true.
That is true.
I say akin all the time,
No,
Rowan.
you don't. What are some other fun words? Akin? Really?
Thoroughfare? I don't even know what that one means.
Yeah,
I just think it's a cool
bro.
word.
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're pretty wordy yourself, Rowan. You're verbacious.
All right, so I don't know what that means, and I don't say akin, so enough with akin. Falco against Ness.
I'm excited to see Falco play.
Yeah?
I don't think
you are a huge fan of just the character.
Yeah. I don't think I've gotten to see Falco play in PEC play yet, Rowan. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I'm really interested to see.
It'll be
personally,
good.
Yeah.
He's got solid frame data. This will be a fast-paced matchup, really quick. Both these characters very fast, but Falco especially reliant on those quick multi-hit moves and getting up close. The blaster doesn't really do a ton, so a very, very fast-paced matchup we'll see. I'm excited.
Here we go, folks. We're getting right into it. The score is tied. Arguably, the two best fighters on either team facing off now. We're going to see how it goes. Syrup dealing some early percents, trying to play that oppressive play style. Falco going to get up. Good edge guard from Syrup, but now has an opportunity to be edge guarded himself. Recovers well. Deals some early percent there. Already 59, 40%. Syrup getting juggled a little bit here in the air by Falco. It's a close, it's tight matchup here early, Rowan.
When Syrup went for that spike off stage, the tech to the side of the stage saved Syrup, and he makes the most of it with a jab block forward smash.
Oh my goodness, that baseball bat, that was a Falco home run, as it were. That went probably 450 feet off stage, Rowan.
Shout out Aaron Judge.
Shout out Aaron Judge, one of the most prolific home run hitters in the game. Matched only by Ness, of course. Syrup doing some great edge guarding, some great juggling off stage here. Has an opportunity to take another stock here. Just misses a couple of those moves. Really, really tight frames here. Gets another good juggle. Good shield there from Falco to prevent a continuation of that combo.
The length of which Syrup is taking this stock is really good. 92%, it's just flirting with kill zone, and now he's putting Falco in the triple digits and off the side. Syrup takes a 3-1 lead.
Syrup, I don't think took a single percent that whole time. Immediately gets what looked like a knockout, but impressive DI, manages to recover, and now can punish. But no, Falco's going to say, not so fast. We're going to end things right there. Syrup now needs to take care of this final stock before perhaps he loses a second, Rowan.
You want to preserve the amount of stocks you have because that translates to points. Right now, the Orange are on pace. If Syrup, keeps this stock, it'll be a 4-1 win.
Absolutely, and then that gives you an opportunity. You can lose 4-2 in the final and still take home the victory. Otherwise, we could see it sent to a sudden death matchup. We'll talk about that later. Syrup, though, gets juggled a bit there. Some good percent from Falco heading into this thing. Syrup now has an opportunity to edge guard. Just needs to keep Falco off stage, not let Falco recover at all. Up to 112%. Really going to be difficult to get this final stock. Syrup needs to land a combo quickly, Rowan. And won't do it. Falco's going to even things up. 84% though on the clock.
That falling down air strung together so many moves, not really directly, but just threw Syrup out of his mental.
Absolutely. Syracuse now needs to quickly land a combo, finish this thing off, not let it go any further, Rowan.
Yeah, now it's sudden death. If you lose your stock here, you lose the contest. But that up air will almost do it, chasing him with the up B. Some good DI from Falco to keep his final stock alive. But it's the up smash that's going to do it for Syrup. He'll sit back, relieved that he gets the second Orange 1 game of this set.
Yet another match that ends 4-2, Rowan. We're going to take you through the victory scenarios for Syracuse here in the end. Syracuse currently is up 10-8. So they need to win this last stock they can lose this last stock. They can't lose this last stock. If you lose this last stock 4-2, it's tied and we'll go to a sudden death 1v1. They can pick any fighter that they want, both teams. If Syracuse loses this stock by any worse than 2 stocks, or having... Let me gather myself.
You got it. You got it.
If Syracuse loses this last stock...
It's new. It's hard.
It is. This is a completely new format. If Syracuse loses this last stock any worse than 4-2, they will unfortunately lose the match. If they can win, they win outright.
Right. So if Michigan State gets a 3-1 stock win, that's it. If Michigan State gets a 3-2 stock win, then we're going to sudden death. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Understood. Wow. All right. So the stakes are high. And I'm really, I mean, I think we've said we're excited for basically every single matchup, but I'm really excited about this one. I promise. I am really excited about this one. It's Talia versus Rydra, Yoshi versus Ridley. We haven't seen Talia yet. I'm excited what they bring to the table. A new fighter for the Orange.
Absolutely. Ridley, played by Rydra, was really impressive in that first set. Took that first game 4-1 off of Scooby. Scooby, who was massively improved in that second set. So it's interesting is that Scooby was just getting warmed up, kind of caught off guard by Rydra. I don't know. But I'm excited to see what Talia can bring, a fighter we haven't seen before yet, Rowan.
We saw that Rydra sort of didn't let the end lag and lack of out of shield options get to him very much with Ridley. But something that Yoshi has is that shield, that just holding down on the left stick, that egg of protection alongside the shield. So that is going to be really huge because Yoshi has some good out of shield options with the neutral air, and also can punish Ridley's shielding because Ridley doesn't have a lot of out of shield options. So that's going to be a big sort of point of contention, is how Yoshi reacts to the Ridley missed hits, if there are any. We didn't see a lot against Me Brawler, and that is why Rydra was able to take the stock against Scooby. So interesting hypotheticals here.
I personally, if you were following along last season, you know that I'm a big fan of Yoshi due to that shield, that egg. think it's
Egg.
very funny.
You're a big fan.
I like when Yoshi can roll around in the egg, too.
Sure.
Rowan knows the other day when we were sitting out here playing, I was just hitting that back and forth again and again and again.
Yeah, I wanted to like play an actual game, and he was just not really.
Just riding
on
around.
the same, right, riding around.
It's like a motorcycle, but in an egg.
But in it, right. Thank you.
But I'm glad that there is still a Yoshi on this team,
Yes.
helmed now by Talia. I'm excited to see what they can bring.
Replacing GR Bean.
Gone
Fly
but
high.
not forgotten.
Fly high GR Bean, gone but not forgotten. He's alive, but he's not on the orange roster anymore. Just want,
Yeah, you don't want to
just
get
want to
people
make that
mixed
clear.
up.
I don't want any allegations or anything like that.
Of course.
Saying someone's death, that would not be ideal.
No, not
Anyway,
a good thing to put out on it.
Yoshi coming in with Talia. I can't wait to see what they bring. Yoshi, you love Yoshi.
The tongue.
As you said. The tongue, the egg, so many exciting variables that really don't affect the gameplay very much.
No, but to the casual watcher, it's like, oh,
All right.
there's the tongue.
There it is.
There's the egg.
Do you think that, like, how long do you think it would take for Yoshi to hatch? What's, like, the incubation time?
Well,
like, a human pregnancy is 9 months. How long is a Yoshi term?
I assume it's pretty quick, Rowan. I mean, you see it in the game. Yoshi's hatching expeditiously.
So, like, frames.
Yeah,
It's the whole term.
Yeah, the frames, exactly. But also, Yoshi hatches themselves, which is another interesting thing. We're going to get started here, though. Already Yoshi being punished by that Ridley. That down tilt is just, it's been the most impressive move. Great shield there to prevent, what could have been a really impressive combo from Talia. Already down 79 to 7%. It's looking like MSU has the upper hand early here.
Yeah, definitely the percent advantage. Yoshi can rack it up as they did with the neutral air, going for a forward smash there. Can't quite hit it, but yeah, this is dangerous territory for the Orange Jack.
Already, you don't want to lose this stock too quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult to come back from. You can afford to lose a few, but you then have to respond and take them. You have to take this thing to a 1-1, Rowan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we mentioned the stakes of this contest before it began. Syracuse cannot afford to get shut out or blown out 3-1 here. It must be a 3-2 loss or a win.
Exactly. Really nice play there from Yoshi, but immediately gets back aired off stage there. Good recovery from Ridley. Yoshi, they're both pretty high in percent, but Yoshi significantly higher.
Yeah, the egg from Yoshi there is going to be a huge counter for Ridley's edge guard, as that side B is going to take the first stock for MSU.
Yeah, that's not ideal for the Orange, but fortunately Ridley, Talia was able to extend that stock a lot. They were able to deal a lot of percent before losing that first stock, and that's what's keeping them in this game right now.
87 to 21. Here we go. Grab, throw. Just not a ton of edgeguard options for Yoshi. It's unfortunate.
A couple of good chomps there. Chomped down on that big dragon in Ridley. That's interesting. Trying to edgeguard here. Rolls back. Tries to predict where Ridley's going to land. Doesn't get it Ridley with a nice grab. And just trying to start a combo. Didn't get it there. Great shielding and a great play there from Yoshi. Now trying to edgeguard with that egg thrown off the ledge. Playing it close now, though, edgeguarding. And just kind of, giving up some stage position there to Ridley at the end.
Talia read the read on that jump get up from the ledge there by Ridley, but unfortunately Rydra he read it as well, and the attack came out so quick. Really good. Both these players, high IQ, high mechanic, and that's what makes for the best matchups.
Ridley up to 150%. Got to deal with this stock quickly before you get too far up above 100%. If you're Talia, already up to 125. Good edge guard there from Ridley with the balls of fire. Just needs to, keeping it very even, and it's 3-1 MSU. The Orange are on their last legs here, Rowan.
They need to win or go home, or they need to win, excuse me. If they lose here, that's it. MSU takes game 2 and this series, and will move to 1-0 in PEC play. But if Talia takes this here and makes the comeback, then that will do it, and they're starting now.
An incredibly clutch play there from Talia. Just really wants to send this thing to the tiebreaker. Then you can bring Syrup out, and at that point, Rowan, it's really anyone's game. Taking some early damage here on that final stock. This is a do-or-die stock for the Orange. Great comboing there, kind of juggling Ridley just a little bit, manages to avoid that back air from Ridley. Really playing impressively here, Talia, fighting for their life.
And they know the stakes here. They know that this match is obviously the final one, but they've done the math beforehand and what needs to happen.
Great shield into a great A great move there to punish Ridley. Even percents now. Of course, the stakes are very high for the Orange. And, you know, MSU, they figure they can afford to lose this stock, send things to a tiebreaker. I don't think they really want to face Syrup again, though, Rowan. Oh, great grab there. Yoshi thrown off stage. Really needs to recover here. That edge guarding from Ridley. It's potent. And a great final from Ridley. That's going to send the Orange home tonight.
That back air will do it. So MSU 16-5 in the first go around. And excuse me. And this time MSU takes it again.
12-11, Rowan. That's an incredibly close matchup.
Wow, they almost had it.
And, you know, this is what I expected to see. This second set is what I expect from the top two teams in this coach's poll. Syracuse was firing on all cylinders. Scooby came out really impressive. Sarvi took some incredible stocks off of Palutena there in that second matchup. Absolutely. You know, I liked the resilience I saw from this Orange team in that second game.
Yeah, even though it was a 2-0 match loss, I guess we'll say, that second set, like you said, so much resilience. 12-11 was the final score, and Syracuse took, in terms of the games that were won, it was 2-2. Syracuse won 2 games, and MSU won 2 games, but it's the quality of the performance, and that's where this format really comes into play. Did you win a game 3-2 or did you win a game 3-0? Depending on that, you'll get rewarded. And Michigan State had the higher quality win, so they'll take this one. But good fight from the Orange.
It was wonderful to open up PEC play here with you, Rowan. Even though the Syracuse Orange went home with a loss, they showed a lot of grit. They showed a lot of heart tonight. I'm so excited to see what they'll bring to the PEC going forward. We'll be back next Thursday, of course, with more Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we can't wait to see you here.